Here we go. Who the hell are you, man? Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
We are the knights!
Hold on to your butt.
And now for something completely different.
Hello out there, and welcome to the Night 2 podcast. We're a podcast for all things nerd. I need to get on my game. My name is Chris. I'm here with...
I am played by Michael Cera in another universe. It's Sam.
I'm from Waterloo, where all the vampires hang out. It's John.
And I have the blood of a lion. It is Sean.
I think we teased everything we're going to talk about today, right?
Ooh.
Yeah, we're just
Except
teasing
for one thing. So, we saw a couple movies.
Yes.
A little sporadic amongst the attendance here, but that's...
Yeah.
We all understood June was a busy month for everybody, and we all understand there's a lot of movies coming out.
Yeah.
So.
Look, guys, we've been away for a bit. Life happens. There's times in between. I'm just so happy my friends are back, by which I'm talking about season 2 of The Bear that dropped today. And the pod.
Yeah. Okay. So, like we said, there's a lot of stuff in June, so bear with us if we don't get to it this week.
Bear
Yeah,
with us.
we're never going to talk about that show because I want to watch it. Yeah.
A lot of stuff in June. We will get to it at some point. I promise you. It's got to take a little bit of time.
We don't want to talk about it all at once.
Yep.
Yeah.
However, let's get into the docket for today. We got a Kraven the Hunter trailer. We'll take care of that. We'll discuss that. We have Transformers: Rise of the Beasts.
Yes.
Something about a lightning bolt running through time in a red suit. I think it's called The Flash. Not really
Blackberry.
sure.
But yeah. The Flash,
And
the
then,
movie that you refuse to acknowledge existed.
Yeah, and
for
then
the longest time?
the blockbuster hit Blackberry, which came on streaming. Not streaming. It came on demand.
Yes.
Was it direct on demand? It didn't hit theaters.
No, it was
right?
in theaters, yeah.
It was really.
Yeah.
When did it come out?
It came out. It's a funny story.
Why don't
Now-
we go right into Blackberry, guys?
You want? Yeah, we'll
Should we
just.
want
right
to just
into
do Blackberry?
Because
Well-
I have questions, so...
That's
All right.
fine. Can we?
Yeah.
A lot of A's.
Yeah, they're Canadian.
Oh, Canadian?
This is the.
Oh. Do we get to talk all Canadian, eh?
You know what's funny is that the BBC
Oh, yeah?
is now CBC.
Ah.
All they did was change a letter.
Well, yeah, it's in Canada, eh?
Oh, we could
Come
do
up with
that.
something.
We could do that
Come up with
podcast.
something original.
Yeah, so we want to talk Blackberry? Just get into
Yeah,
that?
let's.
All right. Yeah, this is a movie that came out very limited theatrical release. A lot of people were. Oh, it stars Glenn Howerton and from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and Jay Baruchel and some other people. That Sam, did you look at the cast at all?
I have not even looked at this movie.
There's one very interesting person. I'm just gonna spoil it now.
yeah,
It's Michael Ironsides who shows up at one point.
Yes, he does.
Sam Fisher himself.
Yeah. And some other people as well. About the product Blackberry from the company that for a while was at least called Research in Motion and then changed its name to Blackberry. Funny enough, this was released at the same time as Charlie Day's directorial debut movie that came out
okay.
and was a massive flop.
Yeah.
But this actually had pretty good reviews. It has like a 90+ score on Rotten Tomatoes. Not that it's been super widely reviewed. It's not exactly Transformers, which we'll get to later. But anyway, yeah, it's sort of about the ascendancy of Research in Motion and their specific inflection point of getting a CEO to come aboard in the form of Glenn Howerton playing Jim Balsley?
I couldn't tell you if I tried.
Yeah. He's bald.
Which is
very
a
distinct haircut.
Odd thing to see Glenn as is bald.
Yeah, it's a little bit jarring.
Yeah.
And Glenn, this entire time, is very Dennis Reynolds-like. And Chris, do you watch It's Always Sunny?
No.
I've seen a couple, but not
exactly.
Not enough
Yeah,
to
yeah.
know.
I was gonna, because I've watched a few things with Glenn in it, and it's really hard. Like like his character in It's Always Sunny, he's
So
not doesn't go
distinct.
by Glenn. He goes by Dennis because
Right.
he wants to separate the actor from the
Right,
character.
whereas Charlie and Mac are more or less, yeah.
And so like the problem is I only see him as Dennis.
Right. So when you're watching AP Bio,
Oh yeah,
he's-
100%. Like I
He's
was
Dennis.
Like, it was
Sean,
Dennis as
this
the
is not a
teacher.
problem in Blackberry because he's fucking insane the whole time, and he's like at an 8 or 9.
Yeah, you sent us that scene where he's just like flipping out, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
he's screaming at Gary Bettman.
the only thing.
The
when-
whole movie.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, just I saw that scene of him screaming and yelling, and the only thing that came to mind was when he's trying to sell his car. He's like, "This is not a starter car. This is a finish car. Be gone with you."
It's very similar to the part where he's going back to Waterloo.
Yeah. Anyway, so, not exactly like an uncommon kind of movie, like the kind of rise and fall sort of thing.
I
Very
feel like we're getting a
classic.
couple of these movies like of
yeah,
intellectual
it's-
property or items that have
Hey, it's
blown up.
Yeah, it's a super easy thing to do. You find a book that kind of
Mm-hmm.
did well about something that people know, whether it's BlackBerry or Facebook or McDonald's or Tetris. There's gonna be a fucking Beanie Baby one. You guys
yeah.
see the poster for
I
that one
did
today?
not,
Air
but-
Jordan.
Zach Galifianakis, yeah, Air Jordan. We've seen them. Hey, I like them.
Seen one, you've
I'm,
seen them all.
I'm not
though.
like
Yeah.
sure, but like I like the ride, and this one was like really funny. Like this, they really played in the comedy on this one. I thought, like especially like some of the timing, like when you first come across Michael Ironside's character, it's like in the midst of like Glenn Howerton trying to like recruit people, and he just comes in as the manager. He's like, "Oh, I fucking hate this." The engineer he's trying to recruit's like, "Oh, I fucking hate this guy. He sucks." And then he's like, "What's his name?"
Yeah, right.
It's a really awesome scene.
So this, I forget if it was inspired by or based on a true story.
Well, I mean, it's
based
definitely
yeah, I mean,
inspired.
it's
It's definitely
fic-
inspired.
Yeah,
It's
oh, I
loosely
mean, for
based
sure.
on. Go with
It's a
loosely based on.
dramatized.
Yeah, I was gonna say because some of the stuff I don't recall happening to BlackBerry.
Like what?
Like what?
I don't think there was. Well, I guess they did charge with SEC fraud, right? They didn't
They
actually.
did. Oh yeah, no,
They
like,
didn't actually go to
everything-
prison. Nobody went to
Everything
prison.
more or less happened, just not necessarily exactly how it's.
Oh, I don't think the
portrayed
timing
here.
of that
Yeah,
thing
well,
at the end
there's-
with the NHL. And,
Right, there's this sort of last day where sort of 3 different things sort of happen simultaneously, including. I mean, look, we all sort of know the BlackBerry story, or at the very least the peak to end of it just being. I mean, you just know exactly when it says 2007 in the year, and it's like, oh, I wonder what's gonna get announced this year.
Yeah, right.
And someone's like, hey, you got to come down and see this, and it's the iPhone.
Did you have a BlackBerry?
No, I never did.
Okay, neither did I.
I thought, the sort of like on the way up, the rise was pretty cool, especially them sort of explaining. I always do like these, like them explaining, like, okay, well, why did this work? Like they're talking about, like, okay, they've been trying to essentially like put a computer or like an email device on a cell phone forever. And there's this like great scene where their CEO, Jim Belsley, is like essentially pitching Bell Atlantic, which becomes Verizon, and they're like, yeah, this crazy idea, because he got pitched by the Research and Motion guys, kind of blew them off, then joined the company. So now he's finally in the big meeting in front of the cell phone company pitching this thing, and they're like, yeah, dude, it doesn't work. And the entire time he's like, sort of shaking off Jay Baruchel's character, who's the more or less like the nerdy, tech guy, essentially. He's the like, I don't want to exactly say he's like the Steve Wozniak. Yeah, Jobs would be the, or Steve Jobs would be the other version.
Yeah,
of
we
this-
need to have
that movie as
There's
well.
the standard tech genius in movies now, who are clearly have to be somewhat on the spectrum,
Yes,
in some
exactly.
level. It's very annoying at this point. It's like you saw Steve Jobs. Obviously, he's a weird. He's weird. Well, it was, and then you had. I mean, it's not really a fake movie, but it's the what the hell is that movie with the the asteroid Don't Look Up.
Oh, that, yeah.
Where it's just like the guys on the spectrum, and then you have the weirdo
He's
from
basically playing the same
Ready
character.
Player One. It's
Same actor.
He's the same guy. Yeah,
it's
it's
the same
the
actor,
yeah, it's
same
essentially the
character.
same, but it's like you're a tech genius and you have to be somewhat on this spectrum of socially
Well,
awkward or
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say there's a dearth of, I mean, look, there's plenty of Microsoft announcement videos I could send you if you want to know how based in reality that is.
no,
I don't know if they're on the spectrum as much as just out
Just
of touch
weird
nerds.
dudes, yeah.
Yeah, well,
But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's kind of what it is. And I mean, look, it's a central tension. I think Chris has it right. Like, it's nothing you haven't seen before. It's just for whatever reason, I really enjoyed this version of it. I don't know exactly how long we need to talk about Blackberry. I recommend it. I don't know, Chris. How are you feeling on this one?
yeah, it's like I wasn't super like I could get distracted by this if I'm watching it a little bit.
Okay.
Not saying that I did, but definitely I was like looking. I had my phone just look for an email real quick or something like that. Like
Sure.
it didn't hold my attention enough to really have me invested in this. And unfortunately, these movies are kind of right up my alley as well. It's just
Yeah. I mean, look, it's not the Social Network.
yeah. I feel like this is one. I don't want to say this is one too many, but it almost felt like it's one too many. Where it's just like you're kind of interested, but it's weird. I don't know. The way it's presented is not. It's I don't know. I guess right now I'm more into the Fire Festival type documentary where it's like you see just chaos and things that are just
You just
wrong.
want to watch the world burn.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a dumpster fire, and you like watching this. Whereas Blackberry, we know the story of Blackberry. It was pretty much our entire adulthood, the rise and fall of this one company.
Yeah.
And
Although
it
I did
stopped on
like
that one day in 2007.
Yeah. Well, I do like that they do explain like what actually made it different. How like what I was saying earlier of like, well, yeah, everyone was like, yeah, you can put it on the network, but it's gonna crash it. And then he's like, oh, well, here's like the workaround and whatever.
Yeah. If anything, that was good because it explained. I forget what it was, but it was like something load or things like that.
Yeah,
But
well, then they
had,
have like BBM crashing, and it's made to be like this massive, like it's crazy to think of how much of like a deal that was at the time too. I mean, I remember that being like a big story, not like the story of the day, but like things people were talking about. The like BlackBerry was down.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because BlackBerry is essentially it almost like forced the networks to really up their game, which
Right.
eventually led to data and then your LTE and then mobile hotspots. I mean, BlackBerry is kind of one of those like driving forces that rolled the ball forward a big step to kind of force them to adjust their networking and their capacity to handle all these devices and whatnot. And I mean, I don't want to say it. I did appreciate how it highlighted, tech companies where if they don't come up with something new, they falter.
Right.
Or, they don't have a competing thing to the newest thing, then they falter. Because it literally just shows them scrambling to try and find a new idea instead of just the next BlackBerry, which is just the same as the other one. It's like the iPhone 3 and 4 are the same. 5 and 6 were the same.
Yeah.
9 and 10, or 10 and 11 were the same. You
That's
gotta
sort
keep
of like what I remember
doing
too.
certain
Is
things.
like you would see the BlackBerry, and they would be like, it wasn't. It was a very quick peak, but like right around the time I started like having a cell phone, like mid 2000s, like yeah, it was all kind of the same. And like I think I saw something too of like their iOS like or their operating system like never changed. Like it was the same from more or less the beginning to the end.
It's just it was more or less for the businessman, which is meetings and emails and connectivity and things like that. But then come along Steve Jobs with this big sack, and he's just like, what was the thing he said? It's like music, phone, internet.
It's a camera, a widescreen iPhone, or it's a phone, a camera, and
iPod.
Yeah,
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
It's just you got to change or you're dying tech. That's I mean, it still holds true to this day. So I don't know. It was good. It was like a nice little rise and fall story.
It wasn't incredible, but I just enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it enough, but it was. of the documentaries of this style that we've seen, it's not.
Well, it's
one
not a
that-
documentary, but yeah,
well, this kind of style of like how it happened type thing.
docudrama.
Yeah, sure. Let's label it that. But I mean, of the ones that we've seen over the past couple of years, this was just mediocre. It really
Okay.
wasn't to me. It just
Yeah, I thought just Glenn Howard just going ape shit was
that was
appealing
that
to me.
was fun.
Like that made the movie. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that was fun. And they sort of made light of, or just like made it quick, the offering of like stock options that was the thing that sort of
That
brought him down.
Yeah. That
And-
they more or less, I don't know if it was like a producer's thing where they got rid of too much of the company, or I think it was that it was backdated because they didn't have any money to pay like the best people.
Yeah.
Like they go in and they get like I don't know, like a top like 20 guy at Google, and it's like, how are you working here?
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like they could have done a little bit more to make it more of a, like, we know this is wrong, instead of simply just the character going, is this legal?
Yeah,
Could have done a little bit more.
maybe. I'm gonna go with a 7.9 on my rating.
7.
Okay.
Chris is really liking the even numbers this year.
Yeah, I'm not. The decimals, as I grow with age, the decimals are becoming less and less frequent. Okay, what do we want to do now?
Well, how about what if we went from an email device disguised as a phone to a robot disguised as a lot of different things?
Disguised as an animal?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go Transformers Rise of the Beasts here.
All right, go ahead.
So the latest installment, this is the only, I think I'm the only one who saw this one.
You are.
Yeah, so it's going to be relatively quick, and I'll definitely be talking to myself / by myself
That's fine.
for a little while
Well,
here.
Can I
Here's-
quick
oh,
question for the
go ahead.
room?
Yeah.
What was the last Transformers movie you saw?
Third
Bumblebee.
I saw the third one. That's
Yeah.
I haven't seen any.
The
of it
third
since.
one, which I have stated on this podcast plenty of times, is the one Sam and I almost died at.
True.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
That was
I-
an omen that said you're done with
I
Transformers.
watched that with you, and we almost died driving home because someone was driving on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah.
And there's
on a highway
On a
that
split
has,
road,
yeah,
yeah.
has a barrier in the middle.
then there was a big gap,
Yeah.
and then I saw Bumblebee.
So you haven't seen like 4, 5, whatever.
No, it is literally just the third one, and then
Okay.
Bumblebee.
So-
I didn't realize Bumblebee was a period piece, as was this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Bumblebee is
only saw
80s.
Bumblebee because I think we were in COVID at that time, and we had like nothing else to talk about. And Chris was like, "I'm going to see it," so I just watched it as well.
Whereas Chris has been an ardent follower this whole
Yes,
time.
Chris,
Yeah,
you
I've been seeing all of
you
them.
are our Transformers
Yes.
You
sage.
are.
let's not
Optimus
let's not call it that.
So
Let's just say
I'm-
I've seen the movies.
Yeah.
And
this
the
is
TV
a
show.
the Beast Wars TV show. I would say the fact that this ties in with the Beast Wars TV show, even if it's a little bit, is the only reason I'm like,
Chris-
maybe I should watch this.
Not true, not true at all.
We
because
need,
Marky
we need
Mark's
to
not in
ask
this.
the important question. At some point, does one of the Transformers go, terrorize?
No,
Well, I ain't seeing this.
no, I don't think so.
That's my line right there.
Is this the first? This is the first time they went with the Beast Wars thing,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I just seem to remember this being in a different one, but maybe this one's just.
Oh, well, there were the Dinobots
okay.
in what was that? Extinction.
There were dinosaurs.
Was
Is
it
he-
Extinction?
Optimus Prime is riding the T-Rex.
I don't remember.
did that happen?
I don't remember. I don't. It's one
Or
of
is
them.
it,
No,
is it
you're-
Extinction or the Last
No,
Night?
there was
or-
actually they were in 2 actually.
Yeah, but one of them had like it was in the promo. Like he's riding it in the poster.
I forget. Honestly, I forget. It was with Stanley
Tucci.
Tucci.
Yeah, whatever one that one is.
I just know he's been in like 5 of these. I haven't seen any of them.
Who? Stanley Tucci.
Stanley Tucci.
I think he's only
Has
been
he
in
been in
2.
these?
I
I
think he's
also
only been in 2.
somebody. What is it? The Last Night.
The
where
Last
there's
Night.
This, like Arthurian.
He's
battle
Arthur.
scene?
He's Merlin
Yeah.
in
Oh,
The
yeah.
Last Night.
Well, somebody like
Stanley
posted.
Tucci's Merlin? That's a weird cast.
Somebody posted that battle scene, like just on Twitter, like just like here's a cool Michael Bay clip. I'm like, what fucking movie is this? And it's like, oh, it's Transformers.
Yeah, Transformers: The Last Night was pretty Michael Bay-ish.
I know there was like Anthony Hopkins just like talking in a room at some
yeah.
point. 'Cause
For some reason, I watched that.
Yeah,
the other
so
day.
it was Age of Extinction, and yeah,
He's riding the
He's
Dinobots.
riding the
yeah.
Dinobots.
I
Okay,
have
so let's
no recollection.
let's
of
go
that.
into the Rise of the Beast, where the movie that actually came out, and let's go into this.
Yes, please.
So it's the latest installment. It is a period piece. It takes place in the 90s. They do reference Bumblebee being in the 80s a little bit.
I'm going to be honest, not Michael Cera. John Cena is the only reason why I enjoyed that movie.
Oh, he's not
Same
in this
character,
movie. He's
same
not,
person,
he's
right?
not in this
Same
movie. Listen, don't let me forget to tell you guys the drop of this movie.
Okay, I'm excited.
I teased it earlier in texts and stuff. Like, this is the thing that's like blowing my mind that we'll get into it. But anyway, this movie starring two main human characters, and I will read their names properly this time. Anthony Ramos and Dominique Fishback. We get a couple new voices. Ronnie Perlman finally made it, which
Optimus
took forever.
Primal.
Peter Dinklage, Michelle Yeoh, and the man himself, Pete Davidson, for some reason.
He's
just
in
in
everything this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, yeah, so this takes place in the 90s, and we get some animals. It mostly centers for animal story arc here. They mostly settle on like a hawk, Air Razor, and Optimus Primal.
And Cheetor.
Oh no,
Oh, no?
no. They have Cheetor and Rhinox who,
that's
who are
right, Rhinox
there,
is there.
and they had one more. I forget who it was, but they were there.
Yeah.
And I think you actually only saw them transform once,
Really?
and then there was kind of a big battle, and maybe saw them a couple times. I couldn't really tell
Can I have
because
a hot
it's Transformers.
Take? Can I have a hot take on just Cheetor? Everyone's favorite, kind of a bad character in the Beast Wars.
In the TV show.
Yeah. Totally not the best character.
Incompetent.
Yeah. He's,
And
like, in
but I
Isn't
like
he like kind of a coward?
yeah.
I don't know. I've watched very little of this, and what I watched was when I was like I was like a 3-year-old.
You know
And
who
it
wasn't,
was
you know who wasn't
6:30
there?
in the morning.
Rat Trap wasn't there.
Yeah, I noticed
Oh,
that.
That's a bummer.
No, Rat Trap is like a huge part of the show.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen the show.
Have you? You have? All right.
Yes.
I own all 3 seasons on DVD.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a great
Dude,
show.
guys, we should have a sleepover and just watch all the seasons.
I guess sleepovers are done, huh?
No.
Now that we're
No, it's called alcohol.
33 plus.
It's called out drink until you pass out and then you wake up on a couch.
Yeah. All right. Anyway,
Okay.
Listen,
Yeah. So this,
I am not kidding. I am like absolutely down for us just getting hammered watching Beast Wars.
yeah. So I mean, look, it's you do have a Scorponok. I think there's actually a couple of them.
Chris is still doing
Scorponok's-
the review.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, right. There's a movie. We're
Well,
talking
there's a
about.
movie. Yeah,
Scorponok's
let's-
is in
let's-
the
I don't
first
wanna-
Transformers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
yes,
no, isn't that?
But no. But there's
I
the
thought
actual.
that's Starscream.
No,
No,
Scorponok's
no.
is the one in the desert. That's
Yeah.
a scorpion.
He's the only one I know.
Whoa.
Yeah, right.
But
It's
that's
Tyrese is in that movie.
yeah. Tyrese is in the
Yeah.
movie. So look, Beast Wars. There was not a lot of transforming between the other characters aside from the ones mentioned, and even then, I don't think Air Razor actually did transform.
Okay.
I don't think she actually did. Anyway, CGI fest galore,
Well, yeah,
obviously.
Yes.
And this, I don't want to say it's like the other Transformers, but it's getting worse than the other Transformers, where there's plot A to H. There's nothing in between.
Oh, okay.
There's just like, let's just take as an audience, you just take what we are giving you,
Oh,
that we are
boy.
going from A to H. There's no filler in between. So
So, if I'm understanding this correctly, we have like introduction of our main characters, sort of
Yep.
as our first act.
yep, and reason for it
Then
being in the movie.
Then a bunch of CGI robots fight each other. Conclusion of story.
Yes.
Well,
But there's
and Omicron.
there's Unicron.
Or Unicron, not Omicron. Unicron.
Yeah, there's the explanation of Unicron. So look,
Who's our second moon?
Look, the CGI was very.
That's a Beast Wars.
the
thing.
very
Yeah, that's right. There was a second
standard.
move.
Yeah.
The CGI is wicked standard in this, and I mean, I don't want to say set locations, but if they actually filmed in actual locations, I mean, probably would have been a little bit
How
better.
many Transformer scrotums are there in this movie?
There are no Transformers scrotums
Thank
in this
God.
movie. As far as I know, there's
Which
as far as I
one?
remember.
The second one.
Was that the second one?
Where,
Okay.
yeah,
Look, I'm not
John
gonna lie.
Turturro's like,
I was-
I'm under the thing's scrotum.
I
It's like,
saw
oh my
this
God.
on. What did I see this? I saw this on Juneteenth. So it was a holiday. I was the only one in the theater.
Wow.
So I had my phone out and was watching the movie. Definitely half hour in, I'm like, okay, when's this over?
Wow.
You should have just FaceTimed
Ready to
this.
go.
I almost went, but because Amy had the day off, we kept the boys home and we ended up going to the zoo.
Yeah, no,
Probably.
it's
Same, not that different, really.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. You probably saw more animals than than I did in this movie. But CGI fest, sort of just crazy, just plot points
Hey,
and
hang on.
no
Can-
motivation behind some of these characters.
Can
at
we
all.
get like just a short description of who the main characters were and their
So you-
motivations and just
Yeah,
like
okay. So so you have the one Ramos's character who is a kid from Brooklyn or Bronx, still
course.
unclear at this point. He has a younger brother who has probably some form of neuro disease,
Okay.
and their family can't afford treatment and stuff. So he's kind of down on his luck. He's an ex-army vet. He's having a hard time finding work, so he resorts to crime.
And then he finds out we
then-
got a Transformer.
And he tries to steal a car. And what is the car but a Pete Davidson Transformer?
Oh God.
and then he finds out his brother is trying to rob a bank and they have to drive through LA
No, we're
in
not
an
going
ambulance.
Yes. Have you watched that one yet?
No.
Oh, okay.
Then what happens is he finds out that he's a Transformer dude, and then he's like, "Oh, you help us? You can sell me as a car and make money and pay for your bike. Yada yada. It'll be us." Okay, and then the other girl, the
It's
main plot
weird
of
that
the
you
girl-
saw a movie that like vaguely talks about slavery on Juneteenth, but go on.
So the girl is it's an intern at a.
I mean, think about it. What this
I'm
is
never going to be able to
described.
get through this. He asked the question.
No, keep going.
The
keep
girl,
going.
the girl is an intern, and she works with antiquities and things like that. And she discovers this piece with a symbol on it that is some version of transformal code, whatever the hell it is. And then she just kind of she finds this like spear of destiny, and then the Transformers fight over
pierce
it.
the side of Optimus Prime.
Yeah, and then there's then there's a fight over it, bad, good, and then the beast shows up, and then it's like, oh, we must go to Peru. Do you want to save the human race? Okay, let's go. Let's get on this random introduction to a plane that flies. Junkyard, I think his name is, and they all get on, and then
I just love the fact that you said it was a plane that flies. I'm sorry.
well,
I know you.
so in
probably
the
meant
movie,
it
it's
some-
one of it's like you probably don't remember. Oh, when they teleported in the movie with Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox, the second one, where they
they
the
teleported.
old time plane teleports across the globe into Jordan or whatever it was. It's like that rickety old.
Prime.
Yes, it's that rickety old thing. It's the same thing with the plane.
Okay.
That's why I think like a plane that flies.
Okay.
But anyway, and then they just they do that. Okay, here's the thing. Let's get into this because I don't want to spend any more time on this. I'm spewing it all out here. So the Pete Davidson, spoiler alert, the Pete Davidson Transformer dies
No.
protecting the human.
anything but that.
And then what happens is he's like, I'm checking out. I'm checking out. You take over.
Yeah.
And then the suit, his armor becomes a suit around the human.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there any setup for this?
No.
No.
So
Okay.
he immediately stands up, and you see the full body suit, and you immediately think Channing Tatum and who is one of the Wayne's guys in the G.I. Joe movie, because it's like the
Oh,
suit that
yeah.
accelerates you.
Yeah.
And that's what it looked like. So he's running around shooting battle, whatever, and then they end up saving the world, yada yada yada. So at the end of this movie, he goes through a job interview and he meets with I forget his name, but I really like him as an actor. But he sits him down.
Okay.
It's not anybody like you would say, like, reference in the other movies. Sits him down, and he's like, oh, fake interview. We pay for your trial thing because your brother's medical bills. You save the world. Yada yada yada. Here's our card. We could use men like you. And then you're like, oh, Section 7 from the first movie,
Right.
With
Right.
Joe, John, whatever his name is. Anyway, it's like, okay. And then he goes and pulls a bookshelf. The thing opens up, and then there's like a whole bunch of machines and shit down there on the. And then he pulls it up and he looks at the card and it says G.I. Joe.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
No.
G.I. Joe.
No, it does not.
No.
No, it
In every possible way, it says G.I. Joe.
Wait, hang on. Whose card says G.I. Joe?
The guy who's like, we could use men like you.
No, I'm
To the kid who wore the suit.
This blew my mind.
Oh, dude, because they're both toys,
Yes.
right?
They're-
Holy shit.
Did you know this?
I had no idea.
Okay.
Oh, I'm back in.
I'm with you, John. I'm back in.
Who does
Back in.
Transformers? It's
Hasbro.
Hasbro.
Oh my god. The toy chest.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
doing a
I will see this
So
movie.
it's
toy
now.
chest universe.
It's just,
Oh my
I saw that and I'm like, oh no.
I love how you were like describing the suit as G.I. Joe, and all of us are like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And like, no, that was important.
That was the prototype.
Oh my god.
Or the
Oh my
spark that
God.
helped them develop the prototype of the suit that,
Oh, no.
what does it accelerate? You.
Oh my god.
Oh man. Sam and I are supposed to talk about the dumb movie.
Yeah, with all the stupid
Oh my
references.
God.
I regret.
I'm sorry it took so long to get there, but I had,
I'm shocked I haven't heard about that.
we had to build
I
it
know.
up a
I
little bit.
haven't heard anything
Oh my
about that.
God.
Well,
No
you
one
wouldn't
saw
hear
this
about it
movie.
because nobody saw this movie. Opening weekend,
Yeah.
61 million for opening weekend.
We'll
It
get
is
into-
at,
we'll
it
get
is
That's
at-
domestic or worldwide?
That's domestic. It is
Yeah.
at 285 worldwide
We
right
will
now.
get into
second
movies
weekend.
that no one saw
yeah,
in a
let's,
little bit.
Yeah, but Beast Wars, that's the drop
What-
at the end. I did not stay for post credits if there was any. I don't
There
know.
probably
I don't care.
was, but who cares? How was Unicron? Like, was there a purpose to it?
Yeah.
No?
It's Galactus almost,
Okay.
just eating planets.
I'm assuming like we haven't gotten a Megatron in a long ass time.
I didn't see Megatron there.
Well, so
Scourge was the bad guy.
Megatron is frozen in ice during this.
At this point, he's probably still frozen in ice.
He's been.
Yeah,
he's been
he
since
should still
like
be
what,
frozen in
the
ice.
like the 40s or something like that, 30s or 40s.
I don't remember.
Because remember in the first one he crash lands on Earth to
Yeah,
look for
that's
the
right.
Allspark.
That's right. Yeah, so he's frozen.
So he's with Sector 7 right now.
Allspark's there with Sector 7. For some reason, G.I. Joe needs to come in.
Damn straight.
And
Oh my god, I'm like speechless about that.
I can't remember the actor's
Oh my
name.
God.
I can't remember the actor's name who did it. It would have been better if Brendan Fraser was the one who did it.
Michael Kelly is the actor's name.
Yes, Michael Kelly.
Who's Michael Kelly?
He's like the bald guy who's been in stuff and usually in a suit.
Yeah, he was in
You watch House
Jack.
of Cards?
He was
No.
in Jack Ryan.
I like watched very little of the House of Cards. Was he like his chief of staff?
Yeah.
Somebody? Oh, okay, that guy. All right.
He's in Generation Kill too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's that. That's the big drop. But yeah, this movie
That
was
is
awful,
a
guys.
Massive drop.
This movie was awful.
Wow, 42 Metascore.
Oh yeah, I'm getting a
Ooh,
5.
that's a terrible Metascore.
This is a 5. Wow. I regret seeing this movie.
Really?
Even with the G.I. Joe stuff?
I saw it discounted because it was a matinee, so $10. Like that's fine, but still, it's a few dollars overpriced.
like, I'm willing to watch this movie.
Says
like,
it's the first movie of a trilogy.
oh boy.
G.I. Joe
So
Transformers.
G.I. Joe Transformers crossover.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. That might actually be a hit.
They should call it Trans Joes.
I'll talk about a
That will
10% population movie.
that'll get them fired up.
Jesus.
Sean's
Well, it'll
hands are in
it'll
his
definitely
head.
create controversy.
Heads is in his hands.
Trans Joes. Okay.
It's like one of the worst jokes I've heard in a long time.
You say that, but then again, you haven't seen the end of this movie where he turns the card over. It says G.I. Joe.
I need. All right,
God.
I gotta try to find that clip somewhere. I know it's somewhere.
Nobody saw this movie, but you know,
God.
more people saw this movie than your movie.
That's
Do
true.
Do we want to talk about Kraven first?
Yeah, let's
or-
talk Kraven first. Let me actually
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
we can't end on.
Did you
Kraven,
write my
so-
number?
a 5.0. Yes.
Yes.
Nice and even 5.0.
Any really truly disaster movie is a 5.0 right now for me.
All right.
I mean, you haven't seen Boo too.
I haven't seen The Flash either, so we'll see where that goes.
All right. So I will lead this one.
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah.
So Kraven the Hunter, which is the next installment of Sony's, I guess you would say Venomverse, or it would. I don't know.
Let's call
like,
it the Sony Marvel verse.
Like I guess it would be the Spider Verse,
Well,
Sony Spider Verse, but like Spider Man's not there yet.
And it's not an animated thing. And
Well, that's different.
that's a separate Spider Verse.
Yeah.
But yes, it's the we're gonna milk this for
Yeah.
all we possibly can.
It's
Yeah.
Sony going.
It's the
we
Sinister
have
verse.
what?
It's the Sinister verse.
sure.
Yeah, it's literally Sony going. We have the rights to every single one of Spider-Man's villains, so let's give them all an origin movie for whatever reason. Which I mean, in this we've gotten 2 Venom movies and a Morbius. So
But
the
this
next,
one,
the
is-
next installment, which is Kraven the Hunter.
Which can I say? After watching this trailer, I was just like, that's so Kraven,
Yep.
And then I was like, but that's
and I
that's
will
not so
see myself
Kraven.
out.
can I make a nice comparison to it? Or
Yeah, well, what
should
is
we?
what is
So we watched the Red Band trailer.
yeah? So Red Brand.
So let's keep this R.
Yeah, it looks like it's an R-rated movie about a super
Anti-hero.
anti-hero, I guess. The whole thing is like villains aren't born, they're created, I believe is what the trailer says.
Which
Sure.
Oh, made.
Oh yeah, they're
Made.
made, not created. Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, Kraven everything.
Daddy sends me villains.
Yes. Daddy makes villains, so I take them out. Which is the message I got from this movie. First of all, Russell Crowe is in this movie, guys.
Yes.
So
and who I believe contractually at this point is like demanding that he does silly accents.
Yeah, the actor who's struggling to try and find a recurring franchise role in
Yes.
a comic book series.
So he's been in Marvel.
Is he
Marvel,
trying?
Sony, because
He's Marvel twice.
This is a different universe.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Which is
Oh, I'm
established
gonna-
by
well,
Venom.
let's-
Venom establishes that this, and Spider Verse also establishes that this is a different universe.
Okay.
So Russell Crowe plays Daddy Kraven and Zeus in Marvel affiliated movies. He's also was it not Kal-El, that's
Yeah.
Superman.
Jor-El?
Jor-El. So Superman's dad. Biological dad.
And then Jekyll.
And he plays
Well, that's not a comic, though.
no, but it's still a failed universe,
Yeah.
but it's a universe.
He's trying so
Well,
hard.
and he plays Captain Jack Aubrey. I mean,
Just wait till they turn that business card over.
What's his name? Steve. It's not Steve
John Nash.
Steve Nash.
Steve, NBA legend Steve Nash, played by Russell Crowe.
He's hitting like 3-pointers while creating game theory.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, not the worst sports casting ever. Number one, Sean Payton being played by Kevin James.
Yeah.
So watching this trailer. Can we
Yes.
get back to the trailer?
Yes.
Yes,
All
yes.
right. So
I'll go first.
go ahead.
I actually am more excited to watch this than Morbius
Okay.
via the trailer for what we've seen.
All
It's
right.
probably
Kraven
mostly because
tag.
it's rated R,
Yeah.
clearly, and like the story doesn't look as stupid
Oh,
as
okay.
Morbius. Let's call it that. It doesn't
Okay.
look as stupid as Morbius.
That's the thing to say.
Yeah, that is a thing to say.
Yeah, but I mean, like I could see how A goes to B, C, D, E, and so on in this trailer.
Sure.
You know, and Morbius is just like, Alpha, B, and then just Charlie. It's just all over the place. You can't really get it.
What are you getting at?
I don't
Why
know.
are we
I
using
can't
NATO call signs?
in the trailer. I can actually see how the story would go.
Yeah.
In Morbius, I have no idea.
Oh, really?
It just looks
That is-
it just looks so stupid.
Morbius looks very straightforward.
Yeah, it's
It,
like,
it looked so stupid to me.
Oh,
it
like-
just-
you're not wrong, but
I want to be cured from this
yeah.
terrible disease I have.
Vampire bats.
Vampire bat. Now I'm a vampire.
Oh, no.
I guess I'm just like Twilighted out, so
Okay.
it just
Did you see any of
turned
those?
me off. The Twilights?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
many?
Oh, yeah. I've seen them all.
Oh, you saw, okay. So have I.
I saw them because
100% recommend the riff tracks, right?
Yeah, that's the only way I've seen
our
them.
our friend Pat used to watch them. So
God.
he needed somebody to talk to about it. It's all excited and
It's a good
stuff.
friend.
Yeah, you tell me when a movie's bad. He'll just want to talk about it and say, "Did you see it? Can you see it?"
You mean like the Harry Potter movies?
No, I made him watch it.
Sam, don't do that.
Sam has backed away from the table. All right.
I could take out my Kraven knife,
Yeah. All right. So let's go into Kraven. First of all,
stab him in the jugular, let the camera linger for a minute.
For those of you at home, I'm within punching distance of Chris, so that's why I backed away.
so he's gonna throw one of his many books at you.
Whoops.
We're doing it like it's a fireside chat today. Got a bunch of. Yep. Sorry.
Anyways, so yeah, you have Russell Crowe doing a Russian accent and Aaron Taylor Johnson not.
Yeah.
Which
Not
is-
doing his British accent.
Or a British accent,
Yeah.
despite it being in London.
Yeah. So that's a thing.
So
Does it really matter?
I'm
Yeah,
gonna,
kinda.
I'm going to turn to the
cares?
two
Non.
comic book nerds here
Oh, okay.
and just ask you, is that really how he gets his power? That like just a normal ass lion just like bleeds into him and now he's Lion Man? Like it's not even a radioactive
So I'm gonna.
lion.
Chris, do you know how much do you know about Kraven?
Not much, but I don't think that's how it comes about.
All right. So, I am sort of familiar with Kraven because he's had a lot of crossovers with, the X-Men, Wolverine, and Deadpool, all comics that I read, and Venom as well, especially over the past, 5 years. So I'm somewhat familiar with him, but I still had to look up his biography on Marvel. Yeah, he doesn't have superpowers, guys. He's just like an expert hunter. I don't know what the hell happened in this trailer or why he's using the power of animals to track his, which is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
We have a scene of him talking to a wolf, and I'm like,
Yeah.
so he's Aquaman of the land.
Yeah, exactly. It's so dumb. So yeah,
He can talk to enemies.
he's
I guess it makes for a better story.
no, it doesn't. No, it makes it dumb.
Know what this is?
But that turns it into a John Wick or
No, it doesn't.
yes,
No,
it does.
It doesn't.
Know what
Because he
thi-
just
you know
becomes
what this
good at
is?
killing people.
You know
Yeah.
what this is? It's dark Dr. Doolittle.
Dr. Doolittle.
So I can kill with the animals.
Slaughter with the animals.
Counterpoint.
Stab and cut and flay all the animals.
Counterpoint to that.
Yeah.
I like how the Sony movies don't fucking care. They're not tightly woven
valid.
together
Yeah.
like the MCU is. Like even the DCU is to some extent, though they'll talk
talk
about
about
that. But at least it's in theory thinking you're trying to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't care. They're just like, hey, let's just make a cool movie. Maybe it'll
I
be
don't
cool.
know if that's what they say.
No, yeah.
No, they're like, hey, we got to use these or
Yeah.
Let's make a
Use
movie.
it or lose it. All right, let's quickly put something together.
Well, then let me say this. This actually looks sort of interesting to me. It looks very dumb.
What? See, I'm not alone.
I'm not saying it's not stupid. I'm just saying it kind of looks interesting for what these are. Like,
It doesn't look, though, like good stupid. It looks very just bad stupid.
I'm sure it will be. I'm sure it will be maybe like the best out of the three or four.
I'm gonna go. It's gonna be better than Morbius.
and Venom 2.
and
I-
Venom 2, yeah, but not better than Venom, which is still.
I
a
disagree
trash.
because at least Morbius gave us those memes.
That's true, and
This-
then they became self-aware, and it was weird.
This movie,
Yeah, but this one's also rated R.
That doesn't matter.
I
but
think
who
it might
gives
give
a
it little
flying
bit.
fuck? Like rated R, I feel like they're just doing that as a crutch to be like, oh look, we're edgy.
If anything, it's
Look at all the
not.
blood.
You don't use rated R as a crutch.
No,
you use
Sony
it
does.
as
Sony does.
No, but you don't.
No, but
you
it closes
don't.
your audience.
It closes the audience down a lot.
Yeah, but it's also all right. It closes down the audience. So let's say, how many of the people going to see this movie are fans of comics?
Oh, probably everybody who goes to see this.
How many of them are happy that they literally created a different Kraven?
You mean
Like how?
not
why,
like the
Yeah.
original
I think
character?
the amount of like comic book fans and how much they care is like widely
it's
overstated.
waning.
think so?
It's waning. Now it's waning. Definitely. With the amount of comic book glut we have right now,
Yeah.
it's
I
waning.
mean, help in part because no one knows who Kraven is to begin with.
Yeah, you read books
yeah.
the most. We know who Kraven is,
Yeah.
but you didn't even know his backstory. So, like, who?
I knew enough of his backstory because, but
Yeah, but it's
the thing
you
is,
know-
when I saw the blood drip into him, I was like, I don't think that's true.
No, I don't
and then
think
I
it
looked
was
it up
either.
and double checked. So that's why
Like,
I
at
looked.
But
it
that
up.
doesn't. But that doesn't. Like, it's not like he's flying and has laser
Right.
beams shooting out
But-
of his freaking fingers
But
like every other
the whole
comic
point,
book
the
character
whole point
we
of
have.
Kraven, anytime he shows up in the comics, the whole point of Kraven is he's trying to basically kill the like apex predators of like he's just a hunter, literally in the name. Kraven the Hunter. He's not trying to get like vengeance
I
on
get it,
people.
I get it,
And
but-
the whole movie is played out that he's the hero. He's not.
You're making a movie.
I understand.
You need to make
No,
it palatable to audiences. You
I
can't,
understand
like,
this.
you have to.
But
you
there's a
don't-
line
I
in
feel
it.
like,
They're
I feel
like-
like you're just. You want everything to be the comic book,
That would be nice
and
if you're doing a comic
you're
book
diminishing
movie.
everything that isn't. And God forbid, but for some
Yeah, I'd see
reason
that movie.
I want Kite Man. But you're gonna be so upset if they make him able to fly.
Well, I mean, he glides.
He
but-
glides on damn kites, Sean.
All I'm saying is Kite Man is actually a major reoccurring character in the TV show Harley Quinn, and it's
I'm
Kite
not-
Man.
look,
100% Kite Man.
Look, you got to make these movies in such a way where you can actually make it fun or at least a little bit interesting.
My issue here,
You can't just have a hunter up there
No.
because it turns into Taken.
my problem here is that Sony is making these movies. Sony, so far, doesn't care about anything about the IP. Like, they don't care.
They
They're
don't have to.
Yeah, because their movies are making tons of money. Oh, wait, they're not.
But
He
they don't-
consumes a mystical serum to give him enhanced strength and dramatically slow aging process. Wikipedia.
Okay. Is
So
this the movie
he
or...
actually has stuff.
No, this is I don't know fictional character biography.
But can he use the powers of animals like we see in the trailer to hunt his prey?
Jesus.
No, his eyes change and he
Look,
like starts
Well, if
seeing
he's
through
taking
the hawk.
mystical jump
look,
to
someone needs to speak for Kraven here, like the Kraven originalists. And like I understand, Sean. I understand.
lock your doors tonight. He might be outside.
Hey, that won't
That's-
stop him.
Sounds like a threat.
Meet me outside.
Catch me outside.
Catch me out. Catch me outside.
No, it's
The
Sony.
best, like the most Googled. Catch me outside, girl.
Catch me outside. OnlyFans.
Oh.
Yeah, because she's old enough to have one of those.
All right, we're venturing. Any Kraven thoughts? Any final
Craven
thoughts?
for
Since October is sort of slow for this
yeah.
year,
So is it?
might
is it
actually see it. It's
actually
the beginning of October,
October? Okay.
but we that it's probably gonna be pushed a couple weeks or.
I'm just.
Well, at this point, I don't know what's gonna happen. Writer's strike. They might keep it.
it's-
They might
it's
keep it.
Yeah, it's done. Like I don't think they're going back to reshoot.
Oh no, this
Yeah.
is a finished. This is a finished movie. This is all we're gonna get.
Yeah.
No high hopes, guys. Don't have high hopes.
Yeah, it's
All right, can we talk about another movie with wicked high hopes?
Oh God, another
Yes.
superhero
Yes.
movie.
Another superhero movie.
So, The Flash, guys.
Yeah, supposedly the anticipated blockbuster,
So
The
summer blockbuster of 2023.
according to Stephen King and James Gunn, greatest superhero movie ever made.
Many people have been saying.
yes, and
Is that accurate?
I like to point out we've talked about this movie in development many a times.
Yes.
And the two who talked about it the most are not the two who watched it.
That's
Once
valid.
again, very busy.
Yeah. Once again, Transformers. Is,
The two of us who really didn't talk about it, we
This-
both saw it.
It was a protest against Ezra Miller and his antics.
Darren.
What?
Nothing.
And so The Flash, it finally came out.
Finally.
Yeah.
We got Ezra
Very
Miller
little,
and
very little press from Ezra Miller, from what I understand.
Zero press. He
Yeah.
showed up
at the red carpet.
Did,
Ezra Miller showed up on the carpet.
somebody, I forget where I heard it. Did he show up to the red carpet?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
They were there.
Did
Yeah,
he
yeah.
show up normal or did he look a little off?
I mean, it's Ezra Miller, so, I mean,
So like a little off is normal for him.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. All right. All right.
the dudes.
Or
They
them.
looked,
Yeah.
they
They're-
look how Ezra Miller looks in your
They
mind.
look as if they kidnap people and
well, allegedly.
Start cults in
and
Vermont.
like physically beat the crap out of strangers
All right. Fair enough.
in Hawaii.
Well, actually,
No,
cops, they
In LA.
charged.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sam, keep steering us through this one, man.
So I'm just really struggling to figure out how we like start dipping our toes.
Where
into
to
this.
begin? Why don't we discuss our expectations?
Really low.
Yes.
Like I was just like, all right, let's see what hot garbage I'm about to see. And I will admit this, and I admit this to Sean before the podcast. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this movie. Mm-hmm. Like this movie, I will fully admit, is a giant steaming pile of dog shit. But there were elements of it I kind of enjoyed.
Yes.
Like there were moments where I'm like, all right, we're going to do that. All right. I'm cool with this.
Yeah, I mean, coming in, I thought this was a lot of the Easter eggy spoiler cameo things had been leaked. Not a single gall darn one of these I've been remotely interested in seeing. So I had almost zero expectations of this. Just like the most bizarre sort of turn of like the CEO of Warner, David Zaslav, and like James Gunn being like, yes, this is the one. And truthfully, it sounded like they actually had high test scores, high test screening scores. And I think they actually thought it was going to be good. Or that it was going to be let me not say
hit.
good. A hit.
Yeah.
Yes, a
It was
hit.
going to be their moneymaker.
I didn't hate it.
Yeah. I don't hate this movie, but it's hard for me to praise it because a lot of times I wasn't entirely sure what was going on.
Yeah, there's a lot in this movie.
There's a lot in this movie. Not a lot of it is well explained.
Right.
And like what we get explained, especially the spaghetti stuff, I'm like, can we like double back on that? Because I didn't quite get it.
Yeah, I definitely did not absorb it like the raw noodle to the pasta sauce.
Yeah, like, and inevitably we have to compare it to this, but like, you know, Endgame, where like I felt like they did a quick but like good explanation of how this time travel's gonna work. Mm-hmm. This got very timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly very quickly.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay.
So the
I don't even know
cent-
where to start.
So
man.
the,
Yeah.
the story
I really
center. What is
don't.
the story centers around
Okay, well,
the Flash
here's
in
a-
our current
essentially-
DC universe?
I actually have a question.
Yes.
A legit
Hit us.
question. All right. So, with this being the Flash, there were conversations about this being Flashpoint paradox.
Yes.
John, how familiar are you with?
Not really.
All right, Sam, I know you've seen
I've seen the cartoon they made.
So, is it Flashpoint paradox?
It's basically that.
Okay. Okay.
Like it's not the same story, like at least the cartoon version I watched.
Right.
Where it's like, you know, Atlantis
yeah.
and the
From what I understand, Flashpoint paradox, the cartoon, is very accurate to what happened in the comics.
in the comics. Okay, so it's not that story, but it's basically the same theme
So we can.
it's-
of
So
unintended consequences
Right.
to his action.
so let's
and
go. Let's
more
go
or
this
less,
route.
not to spoil the ending, but more or less, it is a reset button.
it's,
So,
Okay.
so let's.
it's
Not
mostly
really.
just a like undo button, and we just
Yeah.
end up back sort of
'Cause-
where we are.
So we're sort of
The Flashpoint paradox, that essentially led into Rebirth,
Can I ask?
which reset everything in
Dude,
the comics.
yeah. I don't know if it's going to more or less have an effect. It wasn't an intentional one, if so, I
Okay.
would say.
Okay.
It wasn't like, oh, everything's different now.
Yeah.
Though,
I mean,
sort of.
one thing is blatantly different.
Yeah.
But you'll get into
We'll
that.
get into that.
We'll get into. This is going to unfortunately be a spoiler conversation
Yes,
because
so-
it's
Yeah,
just
that's
Oh, yeah,
fine.
go for it.
you know, would I recommend seeing this in theaters? I don't know. I'm not disappointed I did, but and it's
I feel
not
like you could probably wait.
Did it feel long as a movie?
Oh yeah, this movie
It
felt
did.
long.
Okay.
Isn't it like 2.5 hours?
It's 220.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's,
It's-
2.5.
it's
It's
about
220.
that. There were definitely moments where I'm just like, wait, like I feel like we're almost over and we haven't explained that like weird guy who
Yeah.
punches him,
Well, it's not. Yeah, sort of.
and then we don't really get much of an explanation, but like
Well-
kind of enough. But like,
Is there so in Batman v Superman, Batman is like
No,
sleeping? There's
no.
no scene that explains
no,
that.
that's the like Snyderverse. That's the like teaser we get at the end of Justice League, the Zack Snyder one
Wait,
of him going back to save, Superman's girlfriend.
Oh,
Lois. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, okay.
That's So that doesn't. Though it's sort
okay.
of like a similar vibe, but no. So
Yeah.
we're dropped into this sort of post Justice League, and by the way, I think it's I can't exactly totally say this, but I'm pretty sure this is the post. This is the Zack Snyder Justice League that it has
Yeah.
continuity with, which hell yes.
I guess
Versus the Joss Whedon one. So yeah, we're essentially dropped it, years later or a time later.
yeah, time has passed.
Batman's doing some crime fighting, needs an assist from his boy Barry. Barry then goes and essentially does like the Quicksilver scene from Days of Future Past,
Yeah,
and saves a bunch of babies
Yeah.
falling out of a skyscraper.
He's not joking about that. He saves babies.
One of which he puts into a microwave, which
That does happen.
people then put on Twitter that scene in reverse, so it looks like he's putting the baby into the microwave, and then the woman screams, which is like incredible. Yeah, it's a very strange movie.
Yes,
I revel in how strange it is. Of like,
Yeah.
not even like ooh edgy, like it's just fucking weird.
They
at times.
make a lot of choices in this movie.
They certainly do, Sam.
Like, we especially when he like comes back, but he comes back too early, so he's there with himself. So we get double Ezra Miller for like almost the entire movie.
Oh well, yeah. Well, let's just get to that point. So basically, what happens is, we're slightly removed from the events of Justice League. His dad is on appeal right now for
Murdering his mom.
Murdering his mom.
Yeah.
Which Ezra thinks he's not actually. Which is weird because they never really like.
Established like what actually got her killed.
Yeah, or that he definitely didn't do it, or the
Yeah.
explanation.
I thought that was going to be the twist. Is like
Yeah.
he goes back and realizes his dad did it,
actually did it. Well,
and that's what screws up the timeline or something.
yeah, and there's this like piece of evidence that essentially Wayne Laboratories or whatever can enhance this like security cam footage, because essentially what happened is his dad went out. What?
Season 1 of The Flash.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's,
Okay.
it's Reverse Flash.
Yeah,
It's
so
season
essentially,
1. No, Cisco had the camera that took
Yeah.
the picture. Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, I know.
time is a flat circle.
Just like the world.
So essentially, he can't get the PC needs because even the enhanced footage doesn't actually show
Because his dad's wearing
his
a hat.
face. But in the meantime, his dad has transformed from Billy Crudup into Ron Livingston, which I'm shocked they didn't incorporate into the multiverse effect of this whole thing. Really unfortunate. Yeah, so essentially the Flash gets the idea at some point from talking to people
Yeah.
that
Characters who don't really matter, but who are there.
Iris
Right.
West in there?
that I don't know, so that he can go back in
Like
time.
the reporter girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's there.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
The one that he creepily saves in Justice League.
Is that what happens?
Is
Yeah,
that who
remember the
that
car
is?
crash and he's like brushing her hair.
Oh,
and, like,
okay.
There's
'cause
was
there's
it
this-
Hallelujah's playing and
There's this-
like saving. It's so
Yeah, there's this very quick throwaway line of like, "Oh, did I see you recently?" And he's like, "Nope."
And I did not.
Which
make the
I sort
connection.
of thought, but it none of this matters.
No,
nothing
matters.
matters.
That's what this movie's tagline
Yeah,
should
please don't care about any of this. Yeah, so he essentially decides he's going to go back in time.
Yeah.
Going to reuse the Speed Force as he did at the end of Justice League.
To witness the murder.
But instead, well, no, he's going to go back in time. And then we also get a flashback of him,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Which
we
you're
got-
not entirely sure at first because it's like a flash, but I don't know. Yeah, he goes back in time to essentially, right before the murder happens, to sort of change the outcome.
Yeah, save her.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's this whole like very weird him traveling through time is done where like I don't even really know how to explain it. It's kind of cool or like it's like at least sort of interesting how they do it.
It should have been cool, but like the CGI, which I know is supposed to be like stylized that way, but it's so far into like the uncanny valley
Yeah.
where it's just like it.
Oh, it
very
doesn't
much-
look remotely real.
Yeah, it
or
just-
like it should be. Yeah.
But like it's not like not real enough.
right.
Where you're just
No,
like
it looks
"Ugh."
comical. Like I mean, not to
Yeah,
shitty pun, but yeah.
but like it's very off-putting.
But you're essentially like at the middle of what I'll call like a carousel, and he's like trying to like run it back as
It's
you
like-
see
it's
like,
like a-
images and moments of time.
Like an arena sort of
yeah.
deal.
It's very weird.
It's very weird. Yeah, it's hard to explain.
It's hard to explain. But anyway, so he runs this back. He goes back in time, meets up with past Barry
'Cause he
prior
gets-
to the murder, and has this moment with his mom, which is nice.
yeah.
And yeah, essentially what happens is that so he essentially shows up the night that he gets his powers.
Yeah, well, he gets punched by a mysterious figure out of this arena
Okay.
and ends up before he wanted to come back, but then meets up with his mom and his parents.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Oh yeah, he changes. So essentially, what it was is that his dad went out to get some tomatoes for family dinner, and what he did was put the tomatoes in her cart so she didn't forget them. So his dad never has to go and doesn't get murdered. So yes, so he goes back, fixes that, and then kind of jumps further into the future.
but it's like when he's in college
Right.
and he's out of college, so
Yeah, so he's like a younger version of himself. He's like 18,
19
The
sort of
past
deal.
Barry is like 18, and he's like what, mid 20s,
like 25 something like
Yeah,
that.
so it's weird. Look, incredible to be like, yeah, we need more Ezra Millers. That
Yeah.
was what we've been missing this whole time. That was the piece to unlock. So essentially, you go through the thing, you reenact him getting the powers again. It sort of doesn't hit him this time, and
But like
there's
they
stuff-
transfer powers.
Yeah,
and,
none of it really matters.
It's like a Freaky Friday situation.
Then there's this whole, so then they figure out, oh no, so then Zod happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they find out like, oh, in this reality, there's no metahumans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, let's go find Batman. So they go see Batman,
And it's Michael Keaton.
and it's
Batman.
Michael Keaton.
Okay.
And then he fights him, and it's very clearly that it's a guy in long hair who's not Michael Keaton fighting him. Looks great, believe me. Just take my word for it. It looks incredible.
Top notch.
Chicago's play, and it's great.
Top notch.
Yeah. Then he does this whole spaghetti thing, talking about the
Multiverse.
relative properties of time and multiverses.
Doesn't
and
quite make sense.
Who
but
fucking cares? None of this matters. What matters is they got to find Superman, but
It's
it's
not
actually
Kal-El.
it's actually a girl,
it's actually Supergirl,
and she's in Russia, and they got to break her out.
which I thought we were going to get some Red Sun stuff, which I vaguely know about,
Yep.
but we didn't really get much of that.
Yeah.
It was just she's in Russia.
How was-
Well, Yellow Sun.
So how
Red
was the
Sun.
inevitable fight between Supergirl
No, Red
and
Sun is
Zod?
the one where it's like it's the alternate universe where he lands in Russia.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's
And we
right.
Oh.
get communist.
Yeah, commie Superman.
Doesn't he like kill Stalin in that?
I don't know.
Oh, that would rule.
Yeah, if you're like somewhat interested in like how like this could be good, watch the cartoon movies. They're phenomenal.
Yeah, I would honestly. The cartoons are actually pretty good.
Yeah, Red Sun is like
I've
like
not
Sam
seen Red
said.
Sun,
Yeah,
but-
where it's Superman, but he's a commie.
So what sort of haunts him as he's time traveling is this sort of like weird creature that has like
Time Wraith.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't whatever.
Whatever. Yeah,
Sure.
it's-
That's Yeah, okay.
It's some
what they're
clam-looking
called.
weirdo.
It's
Yeah,
what they're-
who like haunts him, and like he's
Yeah.
like some sort of being who's there, and when he goes to time travel.
Yeah.
So yeah, they break Supergirl out of prison. Stuff.
She gets
How
power
was,
from
how
Yellow
was the
Sun.
fight? How was the fight between them? Because the CGI looked miserable.
Oh, I mean, it's
In the trailer.
it's really bad.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not
I
great.
mean, it's whatever. It's the same. Well, okay. None of these look good anymore. You know, like
Agreed.
I can't be like, oh, this looked awful compared. Like they're all bad. I don't like. I'm just at the point where these all just sort of meld together,
Yeah.
and it's like I'm not interested in any of this really.
Fair
Thankfully, it's not super long. Am I wrong to say that?
Especially that initial fight scene. Yeah, it's not super long.
Yeah. But in the meantime, you get this kind of like Frankenstein-esque scene where they have him getting his powers back.
Yeah.
In
Which,
the
like,
Batcave.
I don't know. I don't know about you, John, but speaking of the fight scenes, were you kind of enjoying Michael Keaton Batman?
Eh,
I don't know. I kind of enjoyed it.
sort of. I mean, none of it was like his line delivery of like "let's get nuts" and like stuff and like all the. He really like added nothing for me in this movie.
All right.
I'll be honest with you.
I can understand that.
I feel like giving that away to. I mean, look, they had to do everything they could to market the hell out of this. But
Yeah.
like, that would have been sick if like no one knew. Like if that was a total.
Yeah.
No one knew
It was
what
just
that
Michael
was.
Keaton showed up.
Yeah, and there's some like subtle hints of like it's very like distinct. Like Wayne Manor is like looks like the one from Batman 1989.
Yeah.
like it has that weird room with all the like suits of armor and stuff. and,
The Bat Cave looks like it's from that.
yeah,
Well, at least they did that.
yeah. You get the Bat. They never actually use the Batmobile, do they?
We
the-
see it, but we don't.
Yeah.
They never use
Just
it.
the Bat Jet.
Yeah.
God, it almost feel like they lost a ton of market because just Ezra's just antics.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, for sure.
Because you're right that the drop.
Well, it's
the
that-
surprise would have been Keaton showing up.
Yeah, it's that, and then James Gunn coming in, and people pretty much knowing, like, okay, this is
dead.
movie doesn't matter. They're gonna do
It
this.
kind of like how when like all the Netflix Marvel shows were getting canceled, but they were still putting out like seasons.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the point of watching this?
Well, so what happens now with the fight? They lose.
Again and again and again.
Could have saw that. Well, they lose, and then they're like, okay, let's go back and let's try to change the outcomes to do
With
it
Zod?
with
Yeah.
Zod,
Zod, okay.
and they keep losing and losing and losing.
And they
and
talk
then-
about the fulcrum point, which was explained earlier with spaghetti, but I still don't quite get it.
right.
But like this is kind of one of those. It's a canon event. To
Right.
borrow from a movie that explains multiverse a lot better.
Yeah, so essentially, so they keep going back and back and back.
They
and,
can't
and,
change
and
it.
young Ezra is really more fixed on this.
Wait, what's the
than-
canon event though? What is
Zod wins. No matter what they do, Zod
Yeah.
will win.
It's the, what do they call it? Inevitable pairing, or I don't know.
Yeah,
some shit
some-
like
But
that.
what's the
garbage
like?
like that.
Nobody dies. It's just he wins.
No, Supergirl dies.
Yeah, Supergirl.
Batman dies. Flash doesn't die, but
but
yeah,
no matter what, they lose.
Zod
Okay.
wins because it's not Superman, and Love didn't find. I don't know. I didn't see Man of Steel. I've only now seen Michael Shannon in movies that aren't Man of Steel. I've seen him in two.
I did see like in an interview with Michael Shannon recently, he was like, "Yeah, I thought I was done with Zod," and they were like, "Hey, we got this movie." He's like, "No, I'm done. Like, I'm dead." And they're like, "No, it's like a multiverse thing." He's like, "I don't understand what you're talking about." But
Just
he was
give me
like,
money.
That's
yeah.
it.
His
He
$40
was
million.
on. I mean, this entire movie looks like it's filmed on green screen, more or less.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, especially when we get to the fight scene, which is fun. Somebody pointed this out, how they make a very specific point to do all this in a desert, so it's not affecting the city, but then also the like terraforming thing is also destroying the city in the background. So it's
Yeah.
like, what?
Oh, it's the inevitable casualty type thing.
Yeah,
So-
well, they didn't like the backlash and
So-
Man of
Yeah.
Steel.
Old Ezra is trying to explain to young Ezra, like, oh, we can't, do this. This is the event that can't be changed. And then all of a sudden, we start getting universes crashing together.
No. Well, then it's more or less find out that it's, this thing that was tracking him is the young Ezra who keeps going back in time.
Yeah. That's the thing. And now he's
Right.
all
And that what he's
Clammy.
trying to do is to find a solution to the Zod thing. So what he's going to do is crash all the universes together to what? Just if he can't have his, he's not.
I think it's just like an accident. He doesn't intend this to happen, but this is just what's happening because
Is it okay?
So this is young Ezra.
this is young Ezra.
Who's the like space wraith or time wraith or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, then we get this montage, which plays almost as if it's like 100 years of Warner Brothers bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Where we get black and white Superman.
Yeah,
from
we get
the
from like the
1930s.
30s,
television show.
Reeves.
the guy who got killed.
Well, he committed
Yeah,
suicide.
who was Ben Affleck.
Oh yeah,
in,
he
that
committed
movie.
suicide.
Yeah.
I've seen Hollywoodland. Actually, I haven't seen Hollywoodland.
Ben
but
Affleck. So see, it's all one movie. Anyway, yeah. Then you get Christopher Reeves Batman.
Yeah, you get.
And then what's her
mean-
name?
no, Adam West. You get Adam West Batman.
well, you sort of hear. Oh yeah, Superman. You sort of hear Adam West Batman.
Yeah.
And like sort of see it. These are all in like different universes that are like
get-
spinning towards each other.
And then we get Christopher Reeves and the Supergirl
Yeah.
movie that no one saw and is terrible.
Oh, that, yeah.
And
Do you get the Barry Allen from the TV
so,
show?
John,
Well, I knew about this one.
did you know about the next one?
Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't. And so we get Superman fighting a spider,
From Wild Wild West.
like from Wild Wild West, except Superman has long hair.
It's Nick Cage.
And then I immediately went, oh shit, they did this?
Yeah.
Who's gonna get this reference?
Yeah, this was like, he was supposed to be the next Superman.
Yeah, it was gonna be was it Tim Burton?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim
Yeah.
Burton was trying to make it, but like, who's gonna get this reference?
Yeah, that is a bizarre reference. But, like, hey, why not?
Like
Well,
everyone's gonna like of
it's-
the 5 people
yeah.
who saw this movie, like half of them are gonna be like, why is Nick Cage here?
It's which is funny because it's not even the first alternate casting joke that most people probably wouldn't get. The first one being when he first arrives back in time, talking to young Barry, of Michael J. Fox being in Back to the Future. It's like, no, it's Eric Stoltz, who was actually originally cast and was in it before Michael J. Fox took over. So that was the things are not as they seem. Yeah, so you get that. What actually even happens with all that? I saw this last night and I don't even have any recollection.
I saw
now.
it today, and
Does that go anywhere? Because I thought they were going to help out, but they don't.
Did they have
like
any of the
it's just
TV
like
show characters?
No,
No, I did hear that, like, there was like a likeness to the guy
Wow,
from the
that doesn't
TV show.
count. That doesn't count.
Well, it doesn't count, but he's still pissed.
Yeah, why not have him?
I
in
don't-
it?
Like, why would you have his likeness, but
do-
like
I
not
do
hire
not
him?
remember.
Well, you do
that.
see the Flash with like the weird helmet. I think that guy looks like him. Is the thing?
no,
In
that's the
black
40s
and
though.
white. I know, but I think that's who that looks like.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's
I don't.
what
Yeah,
that's what I saw. I don't know. I'm just following some of this. like,
I just heard
So-
like his likeness was in this movie.
Anyway-
but it wasn't actually him.
Real Barry, the real Flash is like, fuck this. I know what I got to do. I'm gonna go back in time and kill my freaking mom.
Yeah. So he kills his mom with a can of beans,
Right.
but he does change.
Canned
stuff.
tomatoes.
He
Yeah.
like takes it and he puts it on the top shelf.
Well,
so his dad looks up.
yes. Well, so you have this moment of him realizing, and like, look, I will say this in credit for the Flash. The whole, I need to go back and kill my mom, which like they really don't dwell on as much as you would think for how incredibly heavy a moral choice that is.
Yeah.
Is way more complicated than like 90% of the blockbusters I see these days.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such a passing reference that like it almost isn't.
Right, and it almost has zero like resonance too that it's his mother, but for this sort of scene of like him talking to her, and it's the like, oh,
But
I'd love to my son to be like you or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, you get that scene, which is now sappy because we've seen it like 1,000 fucking times. But
Yeah.
I might have cried. I might have cried on that one.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
with the
Which
scene
is weird because
the
I've
scene
lost
with
a
Barry
parent,
Allen
but I
and his
didn't.
mom.
Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I cried during the TV show when that happens. It's like that scene
Oh, yeah.
forever will make people cry.
Yeah.
Didn't make me cry.
Yeah,
Because it's the inevitable.
Am I just
and she
emotionally
needs
dead
to
inside?
go.
Yeah.
maybe Sam's just emotionally dead inside. Tune in next week. But yeah, so we have that. We go back to the world, and you're right, Sam. He makes this one small change, so his dad, you can now see his face on the camera, which would
His dad gets exonerated.
exonerates him. Never really again clear why, because it's like I don't know, that none of this is explained well. I don't care. That's it. Do you want to know the big spoiler?
Yes.
Okay. So everything's
Should we
back to
say it
normal.
together? Or?
Everything's back to normal, right?
Yeah.
So he's
Except it rains donuts.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so we get out of the court scene. His dad's been exonerated. Everybody's good. There's a press conference. It's just not necessary.
For like a low-level murder case?
Right. Although, I don't know. He is kind of a known person. But yeah, anyway. So he's talking to Batman on the phone, and he's like, yeah, I'll see you in a second. And so Batman pulls up in his car, which we saw before.
Yeah, same
Batman
car.
or Bruce Wayne.
Well, Bruce.
It's Bruce
Okay,
Wayne.
Bruce
okay,
Wayne,
okay.
Batman.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Rolls down the
Same-
window.
same-
It's
in the
clearly
tone.
it's clearly not Michael Keaton, right? Like
Yeah.
so. Anyway, Batman gets out of the car. It's fucking George Clooney.
George Clooney. George Clooney. And that is why I kind of like this
Yeah,
movie.
it
For
went
that only.
I know.
Wait, so nothing's normal. It's not back to the way it was.
It's everything's normal, except George Clooney is here now.
So no more Ben Affleck.
No more Batfleck.
Yeah,
But
we get more
Batman
Clooney.
and Robin, which means somewhere out there.
Chris Robinson.
Yeah. No,
What's his name? Chris.
Chris. oh man,
Robert? No,
O'Neill?
it's not.
Oh,
O'Donnell.
O'Donnell. Chris
O'Donnell.
O'Donnell
Yeah.
was it.
and Arnold Schwarzenegger is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and Jim Carrey.
It's
Well,
incredible.
maybe. It's weird. So I this is a little off topic, but not quite. I heard a movie rumor that Batman and Robin is actually a movie version of Gotham based in the Tim Burton universe, which would explain that
Why it's
so over the top.
okay?
Yeah.
Because it's already starting at kind of crazy,
Right.
But then I don't hate that.
I kind of like it.
I don't hate that. Yeah. So honestly, just having Clooney show up in the last 2
Yeah.
minutes of any movie is just wild. But then it just being here was like incredible. Like, oh my god.
I just saw that. Like, damn you, movie! You kind of made me like you.
Yeah. And then we
because
get a
of that.
stinger with Aquaman.
Yeah, Aquaman just
Which-
being drunk,
Yeah.
and which yeah, I dig.
By the way, did you think
I
Aquaman was
dig
going to
it.
drown in the puddle? I kind of thought he was going to drown in the puddle. Like he wasn't
I
Aquaman
wanted that to
anymore.
happen.
Well, so my guess
Oh,
is
that
he
would have
had to
been the James Gunn
fulfill that
version.
obligation, right?
I
To
have no idea.
show up in 3 movies,
I have,
4 movies.
I have no idea. He probably was.
Aqua.
Yeah.
Jason
Momoa?
I don't know
Because
if any
he's-
of that works
He's
like that.
he's in
honestly.
the 2 movies, Justice League. He's in Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Batman v Superman.
Yep.
I mean, it's a
he's
stinger
not-
scene. It's
Oh,
not-
yeah, I guess-
I know,
guess
but
he is, yeah.
apparently Wonder Woman was there too, just to get the credit for a
Yeah,
BC
she shows
movie.
up.
I have no idea. Yeah, no, she's there and then he's gone, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, cool, cool. Thanks, Doc.
That's her track record for movies this year. Just be in one scene and
Yeah, because
you're out.
there's more or less this, like Shazam, right? She does the same
Yeah,
thing.
she's in the
Yeah.
cameo in Shazam.
In
No,
fairness-
no.
Still gotta
In
watch it.
fairness,
No,
though,
no.
in,
Yeah, she was.
in
I thought it
Fast
was
X,
Henry Cavill.
No, that was
Oh, that was Black Adam. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that was Black
Black
Adam.
Adam.
Yeah, she shows up because I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but spoiler: Shazam dies, and then she shows up and resurrects
And resurrects him. Yeah.
but
Because I guess that's a thing.
in fairness to her showing up at the ends of movies, in Fast X, she is the George Clooney to this movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Just her showing up at the
no,
end.
I think that's The Rock.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe it's The Rock. Yeah,
yeah.
But yeah, no, the Clooney cameo. I will remember that.
yeah. I will forever
that
remember
was
the Clooney
sick.
cameo.
All right, I definitely have to see this movie.
Like,
now.
look, it's
You have a couple movies you have to see
I know,
now, right?
I know.
Just for the end. You have to sit through 2.5 hours just for the end of each of
Yes,
these.
just
G.I.
for the
Joe and
last
Clooney.
5 seconds of this. of
So,
this
so
movie.
what you're saying is, in the meantime, watch the whole season 1 of Flash, and then just go for the last 10 minutes.
Well,
of
I mean,
the
it's
Flash movie.
The season 1 of Flash. I mean, it's Flashpoint. Although it sounds like Reverse Flash isn't even in this.
No way,
know
no
what that
way.
is.
It's too much.
Yeah, well, look, if the box office keeps tanking the way it does, it might be on Max by July 4th. So
Yeah,
that's
you see
true.
this? You see these numbers on this one?
This
it's not good,
no
guys. I
one-
think movies might be dead.
Look, 55 million for this on opening weekend.
Yeah.
Well, that was
Miserable.
That was just U.S. right? No, it was like 30 something
No,
for U.S.
That was domestic. 55.
Yeah, U.S.
All I'm gonna say
yeah,
is
which is awful.
Oh no, it's awful. It's like it's like a $200 million budget or something like
Oh,
that.
God, I don't know.
It's-
You'd have to make at least $500 million to earn some money
yeah,
back.
no one saw this, and it was a 4-day week, or it was a
It was
3-day
a long
weekend.
week, yeah.
it was a long weekend.
Sort of, yeah. Not the only movie, by the way. One that we're not going to talk about unless Sean sees it for some reason with his kids. Elemental, the
Yeah.
Pixar movie, did not do well.
It
at
also
all.
didn't get reviewed well, which
well,
is a reason.
yeah, but like it's a Pixar. I mean,
Well, for a Pixar movie, it did not get. It's like
Right.
bad dinosaur type like reviews.
yeah, which
Or
I
not
guess
bad,
has the
bad.
same director.
It was a
Funny
good
enough.
I don't know,
dinosaur or
man.
whatever.
I thought June would be a big month, but these movies.
No, it's not looking
The
good.
numbers
It's
are
been
not
it's
looking
been pretty
spectacular.
terrible. I don't know. I'm like starting to get a little bit worried. I just feel like, I mean, look, the Flash, Sam, who has now entered the Speed Force, can attest to.
Yeah.
It's just like firing everything off. I mean, we had to get a Clooney cameo in it.
Yeah.
I don't know what's left. Like, you know, it's just like drilling for oil. Like
Well,
it just runs out after a
After
certain point.
Aquaman, it's a reset,
Yeah.
which is odd. That once again, why was this movie not the reset button?
Don't know.
Like-
Well, because you
Well-
had an Aquaman script, and they probably thought they wanted to make
this
it.
movie has been made for a while.
Yeah.
It's just they kept postponing it because of issues and rewrites and etc.
Well, exactly. So why not rewrite this as
But
a
stuff
reset?
but they already started like a lot of filming. At some point it's just like you filmed enough of the movie, let's just get it done because it's
But
costing us an arm and a leg just to
the
do
reset
another
is
one.
literally the cameo at the end. Like that's the reset button.
Yeah.
It's just it's a different universe. There's a different Bruce Wayne. Everything
So
is
you're
different.
gonna now pay George Clooney to be Batman.
No. I mean, you don't do. I mean that, but like you hire your next Batman.
I'm just
or
like,
it's Pattinson.
I'm just kind of worried that the IP. I mean, like I don't know, IP isn't like necessarily going away, but I feel like we're starting to grasp at straws, and like this was even before I heard about the Transformers GI Joe thing. Spoiler if you just turned into this part. I don't know. I don't really have an educated take on this. It's just like it feels like we're in shaky ground. It feels like I don't know. Maybe July will be totally different. We got Mission Impossible, we got Oppenheimer, we've got Barbie.
I
don't think Oppenheimer's going to be the savior.
No,
I don't think Barbie's gonna be saving
I
you
don't either. I honestly, like I said last podcast, I honestly think that weekend of Barbie and Oppenheimer is going to be a massive disappointment. That is how I view
I don't know.
that.
Tom
weekend.
Cruise might save the box office
Again.
He brought people back. He might save it.
He
again.
brought people back. He saved it. If you just ignore Spider-Man,
Huh?
Valid. That's true.
it was like a
Yeah,
month
that's
before
true.
Spider-Man came out, and that thing grossed over $1 billion.
That's a comic book movie.
Yeah. Look, no, I'm kind of hoping there's like a rude awakening here where, budgets aren't. A lot of this has to do with budget size too.
Yeah.
A lot of it
Yeah.
because it's just super
Well,
bloated. And
Warner Brothers has that issue.
It's not.
Like,
Disney
I-
also has the issue too. It's not just them.
It's everywhere, man.
It is,
it's
but, like-
Fast X being like what? Oh,
Yeah.
it wasn't as bad as the
Fast X was
previous
pretty
one,
bad.
but it was like 200
But
million or
but
something.
what
like
I'm saying
that.
is
like,
Warner Brothers DC has had this issue from the beginning. Like it's not like as time progressed and these movies were making money, the budget started growing. Like it started off with a massive budget.
yeah.
Like
I mean,
Batman
it's not.
v Superman, which really kickstarted this whole thing, had a massive budget.
Yeah. It's
Like they've all had inflated budgets. Like they're just throwing money at this thing and like praying something is like a Suicide Squad, which had a massive budget but also made money.
yeah, but now it's just. Now
I mean,
they're
I'm
not
pretty
making as
sure-
much money.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they've made money through. Batman vs Superman made a lot of money too. That's like an $800 million movie, wasn't it?
I think so.
It didn't lose anything.
Yeah,
No.
I think it's only like the stuff recently is like
Yeah.
like Wonder Woman. Well, Wonder Woman 2 is
But it's-
weird
but
too.
it's- but
because
it's not
That was
even just-
pandemic.
Yeah, it's not even just that. It's not just DC. It's Marvel.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Quantum Mania, you look at Guardians ended up doing a little bit better, but
Not.
Transformers.
It's not killing it,
Transformers had a big. Yeah, well, Transformers were probably decent sized budget, but it's still like it didn't do well.
yeah, it's just I don't know if it's there. The Pixar thing is like in particular though, because that's like an entire movie that like doesn't. Well, I say it's an entire movie that doesn't seem like it's profitable, and then you have the Super Mario
Yeah.
or what was it
Yeah.
Super Mario?
Super Mario. I have watched it. I didn't see any of our movies, but I watched that 3 times this weekend. I bought it on Blu-ray, and I have a portable DVD player, and my son has been like, Mario. All right, here you go.
Yeah.
Daddy's doing work. Can I watch Mario? Here you go. We went to like a friend's fire pit on like Sunday because we had the day off Monday. We were like, we'll see. We'll bring like a bed for the boys to sleep in. And, if the older one is like not that tired, we'll bring Mario and he can watch it. The kid watched it at like 1.5 times.
He's propping it up.
He loves that movie.
All right, we need numbers for Flash.
We do.
I don't.
I don't know where to start. Fuck it. I'm gonna just say I'm gonna hate myself. I don't know. It could be a 6. It could be an 8. Like
Like I was hoping you would help like steer me in a direction, John, but I feel like we're both in the same boat of like I don't know how I feel.
do we just give it the grade it deserves? The only grade it could possibly deserve, 6.9.
Nice.
I'll say 6-1.
Okay, I'm going 6.9. Staying there.
Like I could give it a 6-9. I could give it an 8-1. But like I feel like when I settle down, it'll be closer to a 6-1.
Yeah, there's definitely some like seeing it and then like the
It'd be
shock fading.
George Clooney showed up. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Well, that's the thing you're going to remember from the movie, and
Yeah,
that's the problem because it's
And
essentially.
hey, man, that's how you gotta end movies too. Like, bam, George Clooney's showing up.
how much did that cost them? Six Nespressos.
That's worth it though. You know, I gotta admit, that's like,
Every movie should end like that.
All right, let's wrap it
Schindler's
up
List. Boom, he shows up at the end.
here. Let's wrap it up. We
Just
got
like when they're putting the stones on the grave, just George Clooney puts a stone on the grave. Boom.
looks at the camera and walks off.
we got
And the Titanic, he's the one with the diamond.
oh god. We're not talking about Titanic this week.
What?
We're not talking about Titanic this week.
Yeah, not that was a story that if we potted on a Monday, we're gonna talk, but not on a Thursday at this point.
No.
No,
So-
weekend's here, which means there's more movies coming out this weekend, and we
Yeah,
still have
what-
a
what
list
do we
of
have this
movies.
weekend?
You have the drive up.
I
Got
do,
Asteroid
actually.
City. We've got a Jennifer Lawrence R-rated comedy
That's
that
right.
actually
Not
is not
bad
getting
reviews.
good reviews, but who knows? It's a comedy.
Oh
People don't
god,
like it.
the
No, it's getting good reviews, I thought. It's like a 70-something on Rotten Tomatoes.
Is it? I
Yeah.
thought it was more mixed.
it's a
but-
really inappropriate theme, not theme, but premise.
Oh, yeah, 100%. If the
Yeah.
roles are reversed, it's a
yeah,
creepy movie.
oh yeah, people would be
Oh,
protesting
because
this movie.
she's an older lady.
She's, yeah,
Yeah, she's
I mean,
older.
She's,
He's in
she's
high
like
school.
late 20s. No, he's supposed to be 19.
Oh, is that what in high school?
Yeah.
In
I don't
college.
know if he's in. I think he's supposed to be in college.
Oh, is that what it's supposed to be? Because
Yeah.
it sure as
I
hell
mean-
does
Oh,
not
no,
look
it,
that way.
It definitely feels high school.
Yeah.
But yeah, I read it and it was like he's supposed to be like a 19, like
All right,
antisocial
all right.
person.
feels so old that like Jennifer Lawrence is like a cougar role now. Like,
She's 32.
yeah,
I
know.
thought she was late 20s.
Oh, okay.
I knew
she's
she wasn't that far away
she's
from
a
us.
-1.
That far away from us. Knew she was in early 30s.
Yeah, no, she's
Let's
like
call it
5
that far
years.
away from us. Like,
5 years away from us. Almost 6.
all right.
Anyways.
Yeah, so we got some stuff, and we'll probably bang out Extraction 2 because that's where we're a week and a half behind on that
Extraction 2, a little Marvel show, Disney Plus. Not sure if you guys had heard about it. Us comic book guys are really glued into this, called Secret Invasion.
I watched it.
We'll be discussing that.
Yeah.
Any opening teasing thoughts on that one?
Do you
R.I.P.
Yeah. Well, do you like Samuel L. Jackson doing like a spy-ish thriller?
I could.
There you go. Just watch it then,
All right.
because that's what it is.
All right. Ending on that
cool.
note.
Yeah.
I guess that does it for us for this week. Till
Like
next
us on
time.
Facebook. Bye.
George Clooney. Boom. At the end of this podcast, greatest podcast ever.
Adios.
Yeah, just put the like Michael Clayton speech at the end of this, like it's just showing up.
Motion 14 coming to the theater.
Oh God. Bye.